Right, so I have just finished playing the Gears of War Reloaded beta, and before I even properly get into it, I'm just going to address the situation concerning modern day mainstream betas. Let's just call it what it is. It's a demo. Like, this game is coming out in fucking August. It's already been released like two times before. Beta by any corporate mainstream gaming series is usually just a marketing tool, something to create FOMO or whatever, or to get a pre-order out of you or whatever. This isn't an actual beta build, you know what I mean? Like, a beta build would be something like you look at the menus and it says coming soon, or you see in the top right or a corner of the screen like build 0.9 C dash whatever. Like, if you want to see an actual beta, like fire up any game that you've bought in early access, and you will see an actual beta. This here, the Gears of War Reloaded beta, it's not a beta. It's just a demo. All right, so let me get that miniature rant out of the way first. Right, so with that shite out of the way, crazily enough, I'm not actually going to talk a lot about the actual gameplay because you know, at the end of the day, it's just fucking Gears of War 1 again. You know what it is. It's old, it's janky, it's clunky, it's heavy, it's awkward, it's inconsistent and frustrating and busted as fuck. It's just Gears of War 1 the way you remember it from Ultimate Edition or from back in the Xbox 360 days. So there isn't really much to say here in terms of the gameplay because I'll just be describing the game to you, but I will say probably the best thing about this reloaded build of the game is the ability to turn off the camera shake when you're roadie running. I will give them credit for that. Changing the colors of enemy teams and stuff is pretty cute too, but the camera shake being disabled is pretty nice, I must be honest. And keeping with menus and options and that type of shit, I have to say the the menus are painfully outdated and bare bones. Like, it's 2025 and I can't view my leaderboard or my war journal or adjust graphical settings or anything while I'm searching for a match. Like, what the fuck is that shit? You know what I mean? Like, while you're trying to find teammates or whatever, I can't look at my KD or whatever. Like, why, as soon as you begin searching, can you not interact with anything in the menus? It makes no fucking sense and it's super frustrating. And also, I don't know if this was just happening to me, but even though I wasn't the party leader, I still had to accept matchmaking. So let's say I'm in a friend's lobby and I have fucking alt tabbed to go and look on YouTube or some shit, or, cut wood in RuneScape or whatever. I come back in again and I see, oh, I have to confirm that I want to search also. Like, what's the point of the fucking party leader? Why does everybody in the lobby have to agree to searching? Like, it's kind of dumb and annoying as fuck. And still keeping with the menus and just general options, the mouse slider sensitivity is fucking horrendous. It doesn't even display a number. I don't know what's going on there, but that is terrible. And it might break the game, or it might be technically impossible given how old Gears of War 1 is, but a field of view slider would be much appreciated because when I am roadie running, my camera is literally shoved up my guy's ass, which is the way it was in the original, that's fair, but my god, it is so close to my character that I would actually appreciate a field of view slider. If I was going to make one comment on the gameplay, the actual moment-to-moment wall sliding, shooting, whatever, I will say it is somewhat disappointing to see female character models included in the game again. Now, this isn't some like deeply misogynistic, sexist type shit. I'm looking at it purely from the point of view of balance because I'm sure it's fairly well easy to notice that an Anya and a Sam character model are quite significantly smaller than, say, a Ram or a Theron Guard character model. This is something that I noticed way back in Gears of War 3 when they initially started using female character models, and either if those models could be scaled up to be a similar size, or if they could even just have like the hitboxes be correct, but It is disappointing to see this again because they do have a slight advantage. It's not crazy, but it is noticeable, and it is sort of disappointing to see that back again. Not that Gears of War 1 is the most competitive game anyway, because just its nature, it's jank, it's laggy, it's awkward, like. But again, you know, it would have been nice to just keep the hitboxes all the same. But yeah, there you go. But I do find myself wondering a little bit what the actual purpose of this particular release was. Coalition, I'm assuming, are hard at work on Gears of War E Day, and that's fine. But I'm assuming that Gears of War E Day will also be on PlayStation. I can't understand why you would make such a huge deal out of Gears of War, the series, going crossplay, or sorry, going multi-platform, and it only be Gears of War 1. Like, I'm assuming that Gears of War E Day will arrive on PlayStation, and it sort of makes me wonder, why not just do an E Day demo or beta instead? Why not just hold off until you could do that instead of a Gears of War 1 remake for the second time? It's not even a remake, it's just a remastering for the second time. It's very strange. It does sort of make you wonder what the Coalition are actually doing with this series, because are we ever going to see a Marcus Phoenix collection? Are we ever going to have the dream where Gears 1, Gears 2, and Gears 3 are all completely remastered with one universal multiplayer where you have all the characters, all the maps, all the weapons, blah blah blah, but like instead here we are with the third release of Gears of War 1, and it's just, I don't know, it's just weird. It comes off as strange, to be honest. And why are we doing E-Day at this point? You know, wasn't there supposed to be a new trilogy, a new a new Kate trilogy? We had 4, we had 5. Weren't we supposed to get a 6? So it seems kind of awkward to just kind of leave that story hanging, even though I know a lot of people weren't exactly huge fans of Kate and whatever, but it does seem strange to not at least finish the new trilogy. But to get back to my point about this being the introduction of Gears of War to Sony players, PlayStation fans, I don't think you could have chosen a worse game to expose them to. Like, I cannot envision a situation where a Sony loyalist or a PlayStation loyalist who has never played Gears of War in their life decides to pay money, by the way, to check out this Gears of War Reloaded beta, and then proceed to get absolutely fucking farmed by veterans and, absolute monsters at the game in fucking Gold Rush for like an entire match, and come out with like a 0 for 15 KD or whatever, and then think to themselves, wow, that was absolutely amazing. I'm going to go and pre-order E-Day right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, like they fire up Gears of War, they've never played it before, and they discover a 20-year-old game that is jank as fuck, laggy as fuck, clunky as fuck, just generally busted and rough around the edges and fairly bare bones. And then, like I said, they proceed to get their fucking teeth kicked in by a 3 or 4 stack team that are just destroying them and like spawn camping them. That is not going to make them that is not going to inspire them or encourage them to go and check out anything else to do with this series. They're just going to write it off and say, well, wow, that was a fucking piece of shit. You know what I mean? This is such a strange choice of game to introduce an entire new player to. It's very weird. So yeah, those were just some quick thoughts, just a stream of consciousness. I didn't really script this properly or whatever. I just sat down and pressed record, and whatever shit came out of my mouth, initial impressions of this beta. Overall, to be honest, just kind of disappointing. It's just strange. Just the one word I could use is just confusing. I don't know why Gears of War 1 again. I don't know why now. I don't even really particularly understand why they're doing it in such a weird way where it's only 2 weekends and not 2 weeks worth. Like, I can, again, FOMO and all that shit, but like two separate weekends, guys. Like, what the fuck is that shit? You know what I mean? And while it has been a nice trip down memory lane to go back to Gears of War 1, my god, that game has not aged well at all. It's so jank, it's unbelievable. And I'm someone who has the original seriously. I had to go to like 11,000 kills in ranked to get my seriously achievement to pop. Like, so I am very familiar with this game, but this just was not the title I would have chose to introduce Sony players to. I would have at least done Gears 3. I think 3 would have been great. Well, in a perfect world, we would have had a Marcus Phoenix collection. Let's be real. But yeah, this is just strange. Anyway, random thoughts.